Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Air Hauler with me, Herd37. So I wanted to switch around planes and stuff, the 747s, 777s, MD-11s and all that, and we're going to, but I happened to see, we were at Oslo, and we had a nice short flight from Oslo to Dublin, paying pretty good money, 400 grand for such a short flight. So I said, heck, let's do it. I've got scenery, obviously, for Oslo that you saw, and I've also got scenery for Dublin. I actually used to do one of my intros was British aerospace planes landing, actually taking off at Dublin, I think. And I did an FSX flight, Heathrow to Dublin, but I don't think we've ever done one in Air Hauler. So I said, let's go ahead and do that. It's a short flight. So we already accepted. Actually just started this a minute ago, just a little bit ago actually. And shortly after takeoff, my video card crashed. That's what's been so screwed up. So I'm trying to probably get it replaced. It's still under warranty, so it's all good. But let's go ahead. We've got everything loaded. It's a day flight. Let's move on over to the plane. All right, everybody. Here we are at the plane. I gotta look outside. Look, the two people are still there. They're still waiting on their flight. 2 days ago. They haven't moved. Not too much around, just some static aircraft, but not third party. I wish I had like third party and everything. So it just went dead silent. That's kind of odd. I think instead of pushing back and then starting, we'll just go ahead and start right now. Control E style. We're not going to take all the time to do all the setup. Done that so many times, Might do it sometime soon. I don't know. Just don't want to go all the way through it. Especially since I just started this a little bit ago. There's that sound. Man, it comes on so loud. Alright, we're at Oslo. Is ENGM. Don't know the gate. It's not really important anyway. So we're going ENGM to Dublin, which is EIDW. Right there, and we're going to take off on runway 19 right. Which we landed on one left. There we go. Alright, so let's go over here. Alright, we gotta go over to the load manager to get our fuel and cargo set, so I'll go ahead and do that now. Alright, everybody, go ahead and show this. Not anything big, but we want the true cargo is like 137, 634. That's about as close as I can get it. Right there. A little heavy, but that's alright. So put in our fuel, which should be 234. Gonna get as close as I can. And then move it up like this. That's why one of the things I really hate about this plane, with this load manager, I just wish you could type it in, it'd be so great if you could just type in what it is. I don't know why they made it like this. Seems like it takes forever with the fuel. So it's 234657. Sorry, it just takes a little while. They did the same thing with the MD-11, but I guess maybe it's because those are their older planes. Alright, 234657. So we'll send that over. And let's go ahead and move on back on over to the plane. Alright, everything's in. Let's go... wait. Click on the 0 fuel weight. Now we'll do 10% reserves. The cost index is 75. And cruising altitude of 36,000. I don't think we're all that close to the city, but I'll do a 5% reduction on the takeoff. Flaps 10, but before we do this, I'll go ahead and we got to go over here. It'll delete our V speeds. So we're taking off 19 right with the SID of Atlas 7D. Execute that. We're landing on ILS runway 28. Star is Bags 1X. Right there. Alright. So now we can go over here and get our V speeds. 174. Trim of 5.9. We'll go ahead and put 174 in here so I don't forget it. Let's go down to our trim. 5.9. Get as close as we can get. That's about as close as we can get. And this EZDok, I don't know why it has to screw with the views. It changes. I still don't understand why that happens. Let's go over to our legs. I got a disc couple right here. SID and the star were overlapping on the waypoints. Although usually it seems like there's a discontinuity anyway. Oh, let's go over here to index approach. Put that in. Let's go back over to our legs. Where are we on our runway? Runway 28 is 167. Alright, that looks pretty good. 167, 7 miles. Alright. I guess we'll use that. That's fine. It comes up differently than last time. But alright. I think that's everything for that. One thing I want to check. This thing keeps starting up the APU. Let's see if that's it. Yeah, alright. I'll turn that off because everything's already running. Beacon and nav, wing, logo. Already should have had those on technically since we were starting up. Window heat, trim air, the yaw dampers. Now everything's good there. So go to the 2D panel so we can do our pushback. Let's auto brakes, RTO, no smoking, auto for this. Test the TCAS. Pushback. I know we need to go further. I'm gonna go for
TCAS system
70.
test
That
okay.
might be too far though. We want our nose to go to the right about 45 degrees because we're in the corner. Let's hit that.
And ground cockpit.
TCAS TARA bias above.
We're all set to go up here. We've been cleared to push and start at your discretion.
Roger that, ready for push. Power and air are clear, doors closed. We are ready for pushback. Release parking brake, please.
Alright. Man, that's loud. I don't know how it comes up for you all.
Okay, parking brake is off. Cleared to push.
Altitude going to 36,000.
Brakes off, here we go.
Wow, that pushed down hard. Breaking me plane. Alright, set this to 36,000. There we go, 36,000. Heading, we're taking off on 19 right. So we'll just put it at 190. I'm not sure of the exact heading of the runway. But 190 will be alright. Alright, 190. Go ahead and turn the flight director on. LNAV and VNAV are armed. And they've even... EZDok keeps moving my view to the right. I still don't know why that won't stay with this plane. I don't have no idea. Airport's not too bad. Did a pretty good job with it, I think. Alright. We might get close to the line. It sucks that the thing crashed. I forgot to save it at the runway. as we were actually on the runway taking off, I said, "Oh man, I should have saved it." And then, not 2 minutes later, the thing crashes. The thing is, the screen comes back on, but everything in FSX goes black. So it's ridiculous, pointless.
Push is complete. Set parking brake, please.
All right, set that parking brake.
All right, brakes are set and pressure's normal.
Okay, sir. Tow bar is off. Pin is out. Watch for the pin on the right.
Is that really 45 degrees? Cause
All right, guys, thanks. You're cleared to disconnect. We will be watching for the pin and the release from guidance on the right side of the airplane, and we'll see you guys next time through.
Roger that. Have a good flight.
I was actually expecting to taxi over that way, but that's all right. I mean, we can taxi through here all the same. This wasn't what I was expecting exactly. All right, turn on that taxi light. Move my view over. Alright, parking brakes off. We'll go ahead and do our taxi. Yeah, I got, my video card is the 760 super clocked. Mine's by EVGA, and quite honestly, I mean, I don't like to trash them, but man, I would not buy anything from EVGA. I don't think ever again. It's just, I've had several products from them, and man, it is just nothing but problems. I got, the first time I'd ever actually heard of them, I was building my last computer, which was back in June of 2007. Just exactly 8 years ago. And I got a motherboard from them and 2 video cards. The first motherboard I got from them had a broken LAN port. Everything else was fine, but the LAN port was bad. So I sent it back. And as I'm building the computer, I must have had to send back, I would say 4 or 5 of the boards. It's just, there was always something wrong with them. Either when I got them or after using it for a day or two, something would break. It was just ridiculous. I've never experienced anything like that before. I had 2 other video cards as well. Never had a problem with those 2 video cards at that time. We gotta find... I think I can go down just right over to here. Anyway, I had the 2 video cards. I think they were 8800. It was either the GTS or GTX. I can't remember, because they had 2 that were very similar. I can't remember which ones I had. But anyway, I never had a problem with those. But I had a problem with those boards, like I said. Then around 2011, early 2011, I think, the board went bad again, and they didn't even make those boards anymore, so they upgraded me one. Of course, it was a return that they had fixed. They didn't give me like a brand new one. And I did have that board for a while until I rebuilt this one. I want to see is there someone following us? No, that's that guy. By the way, that plane right there is kind of funny that's doing that, because when we took off, I looked down on the runway, didn't see anyone, and as we're taking off down the runway, he went over top of us, taking off, which was kind of funny. I didn't see him. I looked down there, didn't see him. But yeah, anyway, so my last video card, I upgraded it at Christmas a couple years ago to a 460. And I was thinking, man, I don't know if I should go with EVGA because I had problems with them before. But I said, I never had any problems with their video cards, those 2 that I own. So I went with it. It went for several months and went bad. It was doing the exact same thing that this one's doing, with the video driver crashing. And sent it back. They fixed it. The problem went away, and now I've got another video card from them, and it's going bad as well. It's just their products, man. There's just, I hate to, like I say, I don't want to trash them, but man, it sucks. Like, make some stuff that works. This video card is 15 months old. Yeah, March of 2014. I mean, come on, guys. Make something that works. I'm just going to stick with the Asus from now on. Although, I bought my Asus board. This is my second one from them. I had one from them a long, long time ago. But I got the Asus board, and it was actually dead on arrival as well. I bought that from Amazon, which is awesome because Amazon, they're like, well, we'll ship you the new one out. I got it, like, I think the next day. And everything installed fine. But Asus products seem to be really good and very, very popular. I don't hear too much about EVGA. The one reason I went with them, I had never heard of them when I built the board. Like I said, it was about 8 years ago. Almost like exactly 8 years ago, actually. But they always touted, you know, they were so fast and people were using them to build these awesome gaming rigs and everything. That's why I went with them. Won't be doing that again. At the same time I bought this, built this rig, I did get one of their power supplies. So I guess I can expect that to go bad not too far from now. Luckily I still have my old one, which I think will still power this one. I think it's heavy duty enough. Alright, I'm surprised that guy took off from this direction because they were taking off from the other direction last time. They usually don't take off correctly. They usually take off with the wind instead of against it like you're supposed to. Let's see if that guy's... I can't tell. He's not coming with us. I don't know if he's against us. I can't tell. There's some twinkling lights. I don't know if that's him. Alright, but I'm going to go ahead and save it just in case this thing crashes. So I'll be right back. Alright, we're back. Almost forgot to put the flaps out. The 10. Make sure, alright. Auto brakes are RTO. Auto. Landing lights are on. Strobe is on. We'll enter the runway. Yeah, but I was afraid that the display stopping was a defective card. I figured it was because that was what happened last time, and I've reinstalled the drivers multiple times. It's screwed. I also have been experiencing going back. Because I wanted to see what was wrong, if there's something wrong with my settings. I went back to DX9 and DX10. I think DX10 is a frame or two faster for me, so I'm going to stick with it. Luckily, I did learn all kinds of stuff, too, about DX9 and DX10 and what you can do with it and what you can't with NVIDIA Inspector and all kinds of stuff. Alright. We're going to arm the auto throttles. That guy is coming with us. Sweet. They won't be taking off overhead, coming the other way. Alright, advance the throttles. Hit toga. And we're off to Dublin. First time it was a ton of thunder and lightning. We did run into a little rain. Heck, we didn't get very far before it crashed on me.
V1. Rotate. V2.
Alright. Pause the rate, gear up. Well, you can't see anything with that yoke there. Thank you. Alright. I will go ahead and turn it on, the autopilot, so we can take a look outside and see. I don't know where the city of Oslo is. So I was pretty sure that the airport is a fair distance from the town. Can't remember when we came in last time. I guess we did come in this way. So I thought the town, we had flown over it, but I don't see it. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, bye-bye Oslo. Oh, flaps. I want to forget about the flaps. Flaps to 1. We can turn our taxi light off. Alright. Flap schedule is up. So the flaps are fully retracted. Can bring this yoke back up since we're on autopilot. Just couldn't see the box where we gotta fly to. I'm gonna put the radios minimums to radio, I should say, and up our range a little bit. And everything looks pretty good. Is this the town over here? No, I don't think so. Kind of weird. I figure Oslo's got to be pretty daggone big. Some nice looking clouds, storm clouds. I really like them, man. I really like the texture. I mean, Rex does a good job with the clouds, and I remember I switched the textures up. That almost looked like a ski slopes. I don't know. That's probably still too small over there. But ever since I changed the texture quite a while ago, I really like the clouds. You know, you can choose your cloud textures. There's so many to choose from in Rex. I really like what we got. All right, so everything's looking good. So let's go ahead and speed it up as we get into the rain, and I'll be back in just a bit. Alright everybody, I'm back. Man, everything's going wrong. We had a overspeed when we started descending, so we're gonna lose money on that. That's real nice. And so I had to click off the auto throttles, so our descent's kind of crazy. And you saw, like, this turn was so tight, it's like we went clear off, clear out of our way. We need to be down, we need to get down to 8,000, man. I feel like cutting on the throttles a little bit. Put flaps to 1. Although as far out as we're going to be, I don't think we'll hit Kozak. We'll probably go straight on over to here, towards Latmo. That stupid thing. Now Latmo, we need to be at 3,000. Tell you what. I'm going to point this thing to Latmo. Nose down. Because we need to be, like I said, around 3,000 feet. I'm not sure why I used the heading. We're not really actually using it. So Latmo down there, 3,000. We should be able to easily do it now that I'm in control. But we're picking up some speed. Is it trying to say that we're now climbing? What the hell? Now you hear the auto throttles coming back on, like, oh, now we're back on. Well, come on now. It's weird how they can come back on by themselves. They would not do it earlier. Alright. I'm going to put a little more flaps to give us some more resistance, some more drag. I'm going to put this back to 280, which is the heading for the runway. Like I said, about 3,000 towards Latmo is where we want to be. We should be there plenty. Let's got it here. Let's see if we can move Latmo up all the way up. There we go. Oops. And we were cruising along at 36,000 feet. I don't know if you all, much you all watch. But my God, all of a sudden something flashed and it said their max altitude was like 19,000 feet. I was like, what in the world is going on now? Let's see if we can rearm the auto throttles again. And the autopilot. To get to 3,000 at Latmo. Alright, looks like it's working. I think this is the going around, is it not? Yeah, it is. There's dub. So we'll come back around if we gotta go around. Hopefully there will be no need. Damn it, I've been watching this so much that I forgot about that. Landing lights. Alright, so we're already at 3,000. Alright, auto throttles are not working. Great. Let's check our landing speed. That was it, actually. 160. .160. Give it a little more throttle. We're slowing down too much. do not see the runway. Latmo, Maxev, and then the runway. So we are very close. Should probably it's gonna be right there. Just turn on this a little bit more, and we might be able to see it. So Maxev and then the runway. This is the distance between them. Maxev and then 7 miles to the runway. It's weird because it's not really showing up. There it is. Alright, it was because of the range. So we're still over the ocean. It's kind of odd. Trying to think, not really surely true exactly how far Dublin is from the ocean. I was thinking it was a fair distance away, but apparently not. Alright, so what is it? Maybe 15 miles from here? I think at Maxev, actually it should probably be before Maxev that we turn on the localizer. Maxev was what, I think 7 miles from the runway? I'd actually do it near Latmo. Take that off. I think we've got the localizer in range. Here we've got some land over here. I remember from the FSX flight some really, really nice scenery. I can't. It's not OrbX. I can't remember whose it is exactly. Although I think no OrbX. We do have Ireland, but I can't remember who did the airport. That's the localizer. All right. I'm gonna bring back the throttle a little bit. We're a little low, as you can see. We're locked onto the localizer. Won't hit approach just yet because we are low. You can see it's coming up on us now. We're a little less than 10 miles away. Alright, flaps to 10. Alright, we're almost on the glide slope now. I'll go ahead and hit approach hold. Got the runway in sight. You see we're perfectly on it. Flaps to 20, putting the gear down. Arm the spoilers, make sure it's armed. It is. Auto brakes are on 2. Kind of a low frame rate. Yeah, down to 15. Oh, now up to 20. You see it's messed up over here. I actually think it's a good time for a fresh install. If I send that card back before I get it, maybe we can do a fresh install of FSX. Alright, you can see we got our rollout and flare. Up to 25. Alright, let's go full flaps to 30. Couldn't remember if it was this went to 30 or 40. We're getting an OOM warning. Shoot, I forgot to remap. Alright, autopilot is obviously disconnected as you heard. Going much too fast. Oh, FSX, just hold on. Going a little fast. Ah, man, we hit down too soon. I was trying to pull it back. I was trying to get the nose up and couldn't. Manual braking. Man, it's like the reversers are barely giving me anything. Eh, jeez. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and save it real quick because I'm sure we're about to crash. Alright, everybody, we're back. I stopped right here. Good thing I saved it because we crashed just right after that. You can see the brakes are hot. I'm not sure if the auto brakes work if you kind of bounce it, so I hit the manual brakes and hit the reversers. I couldn't really hear the reversers. As you can see, we came right down the runway. Alright, flaps are up. We'll stop right here. Let's actually holler ATC real quick. Yeah, it's time for like a fresh install air hauler, or I mean FSX as well. Takes you to the gates. Turn off the landing lights. Taxi light on, strobe off. Acknowledge the taxi. Alright, we'll turn off the flight director as well. Ah, man. See if it's only like 17. That's kind of like what it was at Heathrow, right as you start up. It should be way higher than that. With our setup. Alright, we'll taxi on down. It is a really nice... I mean, we do have two different sceneries and a mesh running at the same time. So you got Orb X, you got the airport, the mesh, all third party, and a PMDG plane. And EZDok and Opus, but still it seems like we should be running more than... Yeah, no, 15 frames a second? Should be a lot higher than that, it seems like. Should be up in the 20s, I would think. Yeah, that was a horrible landing. I gotta remap my buttons so I can hit in my autopilot. I don't like having to look around and everything right before we come up to land. And I didn't notice the speed until too late. But I thought, as the speed was coming down, I thought we would be fine if to take it all the way down to idle and then land at the correct speed. I was pulling the nose up right before we hit. It just didn't really want to come up. I think had I gotten the nose up a little bit sooner, because we are sitting. I don't know. I thought we had further to go to the ground. I'm not getting the callouts. I'm pretty sure you get callouts on 747 though, so I'm not sure why we're not getting them. But that would have helped. But I got OOMs. I remember when I did the FSX flight Heathrow to here, I was getting OOMs like crazy every time I tried to land. Back then too, so I don't know. It's obviously hard scenery, hard on the computer. I think to actually get it to do it the first time, I had to turn the auto gen literally down like 3 notches, which is kind of crazy. We're also taxiing at 34 miles an hour. We should probably slow that down. I'm surprised the brake temps are still high. Okay. You want me to go way over? Maybe they have a cargo area. Maybe that's why. Because I was thinking we always parked over here. Thought that's where we parked before. That other video. But it does look like there's a cargo area over here. Quite a bit of vehicles moving around too. That never helps your frame rate. I think I've got it turned down to low, but I'm not sure if the third-party airports kind of override that a little bit, or because they automatically have stuff moving around and everything. I'm not sure. I feel like kind of just taxiing down here and turn in and parking over here. Hopefully, they don't have us going too far. Turn right here. They have us parking right here, sweet. They do. What more can you want than that? I think we're there. Oh my goodness. You can see that and our brakes are smoking. I mean, that's got to be our brakes, right? But it's not coming from our wheels. That is some messed up graphics right there. It seems like it's coming from our freaking engine. Odd. Simply odd. Alright, well, it wasn't the greatest light. It started out good, but man, it just went down. It went downhill. Turn that taxi light off. It's kind of a bummer. Everything was going so well. Cut her off. We did a lot of damage. We had that overspeed and then moderate damage on the landing, so that's not going to be good. Wait. I think I want to turn those the other way. Alright, now everything's off. Alright. I'm not going to turn the other stuff off. I won't worry about it. Let's go over to Air Hauler and get paid. Alright, so I said we'll get paid, but actually we're probably going to end up owing. We did 10% damage on that, and that doesn't include the overspeeds. Man, we got nailed. Nailed this thing bad. %10 damage and whatever the overspeed. It was 88 when we took off. Man, that is a short flight. You should make a bunch of money, and I screw it up. The auto speed wasn't really, or overspeed wasn't my fault. That started off on the descent. I should not do 4x when we start the descent. We should be back on normal. That always helps. Alright, Air Hauler, what are you doing over here? Come on. What's going on? What, is Air Hauler locked up now? We gotta close out of that? Apparently that's what I've got to do. Alright, be right back. Alright, we had to force it down. Yeah, 15% damage. That was down 5% on the overspeed. It was 88. So, yeah, we probably lost a good chunk of money. 80, what did we do? 15%? It had 12, so we probably, if you figure we did around half of it. over 2.5 million. Man, what? I just don't. I gotta stop screwing that up. I gotta slow it down on the descent when we start, so we don't get the overspeed. And then I gotta map those buttons and do better. I'm gonna check and see. I might have turned the volume off on those ground callouts, because now I've messed with that stuff before. So I'll check all that stuff out. Hopefully there's not anything good at Dublin, because I want to switch planes. I kind of want to fly an MD-11 or something. So yeah, I kind of like that, those long flights. We need to do one of those one of these times. Alright, nothing too great. So we'll probably switch planes. Maybe an MD-11, maybe a 777. Well, I've got one of the 777s over at Indianapolis, which is one of our bases. We could always go there. I don't know. Let's see, where are our people? Yes, we need to do that Shanghai, Melbourne. So actually, maybe we won't do an MD-11 777 next. Maybe we'll go over, do the Shanghai, and then maybe 1 or 2 flights from Shanghai and then Melbourne as well. I don't know if there's anything good at Shanghai right now. Daytona Beach. Oh, we're definitely not doing that. Man, that's so... It pays so much. Osaka, that's one of our bases. It's a short flight. Might want to look at doing that. That's another good one. That pays a lot more, too. Go up there. Alright, well, that's going to be it for this episode, everybody. I hope you all enjoyed it. Just gotta do better, man. Just gotta do better. So, I'll see you guys on the next flight.